the 2016 presidential election. First and foremost, the rules during this debate. We're going to have a time for 2 minutes per question. I'm going to hand it over to Christian to start the debate for questions.
You have 2 minutes for your response.
So during my vice presidency, the student union building was approved, and I think that I would be the best candidate to keep that going. And I want to hear from the students, hear what they think about the building of the student union building, and hear what they have to say about what is going on, and answer any questions for them. I think that's what's missing. I know a lot of students have questions. So I want to be able to answer their questions and be that bridge between administrators and students and bring them together and get the student union building built.
Thank you. We'd like to open up rebuttals for the first ticket. Edward and Vanessa, you have 1 minute.
Definitely, as being president and vice president, we'll continue the process of student union building. This year, we've been working on communication and transparency within the community itself. There's been a couple issues where communication around wasn't equally, and not everybody knew what's going on. So definitely continuing that communication, transparency, making sure everybody's knowing. We're currently working on a forum where you're going to be seeing what this student union building will be having, and also the student space this year. As the chancellor, we have that space of 130-60. This whole student lounge will be kept student space. So that's what as this year we are currently working on, to keeping student space and making it bigger, so that way you have 2 places where things could be happening. And definitely just communication all around, and making sure when we do have questions, we ask the students. And I know a few people who've been here help me set up at the CAC to kind of decide how the spaces were. So that's definitely always going out to students and saying, what do you think of this and that?
Thank you. I would like to open rebuttal for the second party. Tyler and Israa, you have 1 minute.
Thank you. So I completely agree with Vanessa, and I agree with Alisa. I believe that we need to communicate with the students, and that's what we have done. We, Israa and I, we're participating in the preparations of the building. There's been a lot of things behind doors that students haven't necessarily seen, because we want to make sure that the students have what they want. And we ask, what do you want? Do we want a ball? No. What do we want? Do we want gaming rooms? Yes. Do we want whatever you want? And that's what we've gone out. We've gone out and done that. We communicated that to administration, and as of now, that's really what we're progressing to turning into. We believe that if in the future, if we are elected, we will continue that.
Thank you. We would like to open up the fourth question to first ticket of Edward and Vanessa. How do you represent the interests of all students on the community campus? You have 2 minutes to answer.
So as a community campus, there's people from all around the area. For coming, some people are coming from 2 hours, an hour, whatever it may be. So definitely what we're doing as student government is, when we do have events, we try to make it where the most students are going to be here. And like on the 25th, we're giving out free t-shirts. We're doing one in the morning, and one in the evening, one in about noonish, and then one at 5:30 to 6:30. That way, those people who do have classes at night, who have classes in the morning, you're both able to get the experience in those. And also with the nursing, you can kind of call it off campus in a way for all those people who are not in here. Whenever we have events, we set aside items for them and take them also. So that I consider that as a commuter for people who are not here. And so we're always making sure that all students are getting what, if we have events, that all kind of students are getting equally. So that way we're always continuing with nursing buildings, we're doing it as much as we trying to move events around campus. That way it's not just, as we discussed it, it's usually more in the West Atrium where most students are there, but we're trying to spread it out to the CAC. Will be on the 25th, giving t-shirts out from 12. So if you guys do, we're trying to spread it around campus. That way it feels like everybody's getting everything.
And so and really collaborate with our own team. You know, we have senators here present that we collaborate with them. We truly have a team built that we made it this year. We have the collaboration doing all these events. We have our Center for Nursing that takes things to the nursing campus, and even the wine science center. And also we have been collaborating with events with the Office of Student Life. We're doing the Crimson Fest this year with staff as well. It will be April 9th, so we're already doing that to reach more students in this community.
Thank you. We'd like to open up a rebuttal for a second ticket of Israa and Tyler. You have 1 minute.
Okay, so I agree with Vanessa. Our team is great this year. We have been working with a lot of students. But I also think that student influence goes beyond that, and we are all here to present your voice. It's not about us and what we want, it's more about you guys. And one of the examples that we did this year is we made sure that students are involved in every decision we make. For example, when we first had the Polytechnic experience on our campus, I noticed that some students didn't know about it or they weren't properly informed about it, and I took it on to my team to make sure that we have a forum for the chancellor so he can talk about it and inform students about it, and students become more aware of it. Also, I heard some students that want cheaper textbooks options as one of their interests. And one of our senators is working on that, and I told him that I'm a big fan of that, and Tyler and I will take this forward next year.
And time. Sorry. I'd like to open up a rebuttal to the third ticket. Alisa and Anjhelica, you have 1 minute.
So I believe that we represent the interests of the student body because, as Alisa said, she was vice president and she knows the problem. She probably has solutions for each of them. And as an RSO, I also believe that I can bring all the other RSOs together and make an event that will attract all the other students to stay. Like Vanessa said, there are students that are here in the morning and then have to leave at night, and then we miss the ones that have classes during the night. So I believe that if we have events, the same event in the morning and then in the evening, we won't miss everyone, and it's not just coming to school and going home. It's a second home for us.
Thank you. We'd like to address our fifth question to the second ticket of Israa and Tyler. The question is, what do you feel are the most important academic issues on campus, and how would you approach this? Okay. You have 2 minutes.
So we've actually asked a lot of students what they think some of the most important academic issues on campus. A few of them are, they say, obviously textbooks are too expensive. Like Israa said, our Senator Michael is working on that. We also hear that printing for papers or whatever is way too expensive. That's something we would love to address under our administration. How do we make printing cheaper or even free? All these go together to kind of create a conglomerate of understanding what the students want. And that's what we did earlier this year when there was first brought up was about a common hour. What students want a common hour? So we went out and we created a survey asking, would you want a common hour at what time? It surprised us when a lot of students said no, because their biggest concern was, well, they'll extend my classes, but how late will it go? Because if we have an hour in the middle where there's no classes, that'll just make everything longer. And that's a very legitimate concern that we would want to address, bring back the common hour eventually, but after we figure out something for that. Because academics come first, and that's what we want to make certain students have. We want to make sure they can come, do their schooling. If they want to be involved, that is their choice. We would love to have them involved. We'd love to get them involved. But academics come first, and that's why we lead right here.
Thank you. We'd like to open rebuttal to the first ticket of Vanessa and Edward. You have 1 minute.
All right, so we are definitely students first, and the biggest academic issue that we believe is on campus is study space here. Because if you're studying on campus, like not going to a coffee shop or going home for it, you guys will be more involved in the campus itself. And we do not have like enough study spaces in the campus. We open our conference room in the student lounge for the students to study in there, and a lot of students study in there. We have the East Commons that we used to have events in there, and now we do not have events anymore. It's only for students now. The computer lab that was the West 145 computer lab was once a classroom, and now it's turning into a only like open computer lab for all students. So really the study spaces is the main issue. You got to add something?
And also with kind of going along with computers, I know there's some, especially for my degree for civil engineering, there's specific programs that you need on a computer. A lot of students don't have a computer, so that's why it's very important to have the computer lab access open at all times. That's something that we discussed with the chancellor during our meetings and saying, what's happening until the next starting semester, that should be open.
I'd like to open rebuttal to the third ticket. Alisa and Anjhelica, you have 1 minute.
Okay, so I think the biggest academic issues stem with students misunderstanding or not really understanding the academic resources that are available to them here at the university. And as student leaders, I think that we should educate the students on what resources are available to them, how do they attend advising, what do they have to do to turn in their writing portfolio, who do they need to turn it into. I think all of those things are really important for the students to know and to understand as students.
Thank you. We'd like to open our sixth question for our third ticket, Alisa and Anjhelica. Sixth question is, how have you shown yourself to be engaged as a student leader? You have 2 minutes to answer.
Well, Angie and I have both been very involved and active in the student body, with the student body. I have been in ASWSU. I was the Director of Academic Affairs, and then I was Vice President, and and I was also a club leader, so I have been very engaged as a student leader. And
So I've been the RSO, the dance club treasurer, and then last year I tried to volunteer as much as I could in every event that SEB had. And then with career development, I replaced a model for the fashion show, and I just want all the clubs and all the groups to grow as a.
Thank you. We'd like to open rebuttal for our first ticket. Vanessa and Edward, you have 1 minute to answer.
So as early as my first year, I was a senator for the student for ASWSUTC. I would represent the students being in the Senate. My second year, I was a director for the ASWSU as well. And in my third year, I became the vice president with my partner Vanessa. So I've always been involved in student government, always doing the best I could to represent the students. I've worked with Career Development Center as well, with the pre-mentoring program and other resources in campus as well.
And I'm, as current president, I've been involved with the mentoring program. This is my 4th year. I've been part of the election board for 3 years. Before this, I'm part of the liaison for ASAE, with the Society of Civil Engineers, with the liaison with the section for the Tri-Cities. And also as getting students involved in student leader, I've been going out to students and informing them about events and kind of getting them to come. I know sometimes when we have events at the atrium outside, hey, have you done this event? Come and join us. So I'm always trying to interact and going and talking to students. If you haven't done an event or haven't gone anywhere, trying to get you informed and making sure you know that you're involved and know when events are happening.
All right, we'd like to open the rebuttal to our third ticket. Alisa and Anjhelica, you have 1 minute. Oh, sorry. Tyler and Israa. My apologies.
Okay, so my first year I started the Belly Dancing Club. I get involved with the Word Research Club. Staying with Tyler, he started the Word Research Club and he was involved in other clubs too. I was involved with the Environmental Club as well. And then my second year I applied for the orientation leader position, and I have been serving over than 200 students as an orientation leader and as a senator for College of Art and Sciences, the chair of the External Affairs Committee, which does a lot of programs like the Student of the Month and the Cougar Discount Program. And
For me, I'm also an orientation leader. I'm the Senate president, as I mentioned. I think all these we have a wide range of occupations throughout the school, and that kind of creates a diversity, as I said. We know what each student needs in each area, kind of what wants and understands. I think that has been given a very valuable experience.
We'd like to open the 7th question to our first ticket, Vanessa and Edward. Our 7th question is, what is your opinion on the impact of bringing student housing to our campus? You have 2 minutes to answer.
I definitely think this is very important for students to have housing, but as long as we are a community college, as long as first-time freshmen or transfer students are not required to be in housing, this housing would be available for the students who want. As being, my family lives about an hour away from here. I wouldn't want to be on housing unless it's definitely that I need, but it shouldn't be required for all freshmen to be there, so definitely on a need-by basis. Because we are a community campus, and I don't think that would be good for us, but definitely it is something that students do need housing. And so I definitely do, it's important to have housing on campus.
Yeah, I remember that.
Thank you. We'd like to open rebuttal to our second ticket, Tyler and Israa. You have 1 minute.
Thank you. So I agree with Vanessa and Edward. I believe that it shouldn't be mandatory for freshmen, but I do believe that is a very valuable resource we can have at this school. We are a community campus. I have multiple friends who don't live in the Tri-Cities. They have to drive all the way down from Sunnyside, Yakima, Moses Lake even. So it's very difficult for some students to waste all the gas to come down here and come back, and especially with getting back to involvement, to get more students involved, bringing them on campus would be hugely beneficial, because that way, instead of having to drive a hour to get home and leaving early, they can stay for a little while and get more involved, get a job at the school, or come to an event at the school, which would be hugely beneficial.
Thank you. Let's open the vote for a third ticket. Alisa and Angie, you have 1 minute.
I also think that having student housing is important because it'll bring in more students into our campus, which I think is a great thing. And I also lived on a student dorm 4 years ago, and I loved it. I think it's a great student experience. It's fun, and I think it will benefit the school tremendously, bringing in more students from the west side, from other states.
Yeah, I feel like it would make the school more appealing to have a housing option, and so we don't have to look for apartments outside and look or figure out commute and all that.
Thank you. Moving on to our 8th question, addressed to the second ticket, Israa and Tyler. What do you think the purpose of student government on the college campus is? You have 2 minutes to answer.
I think the student government is here to represent all students. I mean, the way to represent the students and give their voice to the administration is to have one person representing them and not 1,500 students going, for example, to the chancellor office and telling him that they want that, because he can't get 1,500 students in his office. So our job is to take your needs and concerns, make them our first priority, and then present them to the administration or whoever need to hear those needs and concerns, and also collaborate with the community and have more communication with them so we can bring more resources to our campus. I think that's the point of having student government, because they can be the bridge between students, administration, and our community.
Additionally, I believe that it will help create a community on the university campus, because without student government or student life or any of these departments, we wouldn't have these events that would a lot of students like to be involved in. We wouldn't have as many RSOs, because RSOs wouldn't be as well known. So I believe, I agree with you, it's about communication, it's about kind of creating this community that we have and kind of building it.
Okay. I'd like to open the vote to our first ticket. Vanessa, you have 1 minute.
Definitely the purpose of student government. Last year there was over 200 signatures for petitions for the reimbursement program, which was taken out. So this year what we decided as we decided to bring it back. So we, from our budget that we had, we set aside $5,000 because we definitely do need what the students want. This is what we're going to give them. So definitely we brought it back for this year. There's $2,500 for each semester. So if you haven't done it for this semester, definitely go and so definitely whatever students need. We're always the voice and we're the liaison between the administration and students. So especially for the student union building, we are your guys' voice that you guys want in there. You talk to us and whatever you need, we'll bring it over to whoever needs to hear this. Something as during the senators have, academic advising is a mandatory, should it be mandatory for all students, or get more study spaces on campus, which actually the chancellor is working on it.
In addition to that, we are here on campus about 12 hours a day. We are almost always in our office. You guys can always come in and talk to us. The soccer club came to my office this week and asked if they can request more time to do this.
We'd like to open the vote to our third ticket. Alisa and Anjhelica, you have 1 minute.
So I think the purpose of student government is, of course, to be the liaison, the bridge between students and administrators, and to make known to students what administrators are doing, planning, all of that, and to make known to students all the changes. But I also think that student government gives students a common ground to approach and ask questions to their fellow students who they trust. And I think that is very important for the students.
Just as a reminder, we do have a question box in back where you guys can write down your questions and then we can address it towards our candidates at the end. I'd Moving on to question 9, addressed to our third ticket, Alisa and Anjhelica. If elected, how would you use your positions to encourage student involvement? 2 minutes, Anna.
So if elected, I would use my position to, of course, voice the student body and make sure that both administration and the students have both their wants and needs.
We will encourage student involvement by getting students pumped for the events and the clubs that we offer here. We want students to stay on campus as much as possible because, studies have shown that students who stay on campus exceed more than students who leave. So let's stay on campus and get these students involved.
Thank you. We'd like to open rebuttal to our first ticket. Edward and Vanessa, you have 1 minute to answer.
Definitely to encourage student more involvement is collaborating with other departments. We're currently collaborating around university-wide for the CougSync Fest, which also be our 6th annual Fund the Future 5K. And also our RSOs are also participating in this, so we're always trying to get RSOs to be involved. That way their members can also be involved. The industry tours that we held for development, we just funded them for the industry tours and also the etiquette dinners so that way more students can be involved on campus. And then also city government is working on Health Week where they're also asking our RSOs to participate. There's the flag football, Mr. University and everything goes through. During the events, we're always advertising to making sure that you guys are well informed and involved.
Thank you. We'd like to open rebuttal to our second ticket. Tyler and Israa, you have 1 minute.
Thank you. I think it ultimately comes down to experience. Like we stated before, is you're going to have a lot of experience with diverse roles, and that helps us understand how to communicate with the students. And it's hard to communicate to every student with just a flyer. We agree that this year has progressed with, we have a newsletter, we have the Riverside Current, we have all of this, but how do we get that message? How do the students know about it? And that's where it comes to one-on-one communication. It comes to talking to them, coming to them and saying, hey, have you heard about this event? Hey, have you heard of the Riverside Current? Have you heard of the newsletter? All that, so we can actually communicate with students in the community and say, hey, that was a nice conversation. How do I get involved? And we can tell them. And that's our main platform is to communicate one-on-one experiences. Then that then leads into the newsletter, the Riverside Current, and the flyers.
Thank you. We have one last question to lighten up the mood. Everyone gets 1 minute to answer. And we'd like to open this up to our first ticket of Edward and Vanessa. The question is, if our mascot could be anything, what would it be and why? 1 minute to answer.
Well, we believe that our mascot should be a cougar, obviously, because we are a WSU campus. We are a satellite campus. We are one university overall, and
It's just one university geographically dispersed, which means that we're all WSU. So once we change our mascot, if it's not a program, and obviously we can change the mascot name as different UW campuses have done that, but definitely becoming and being a WSU student, once you change that mascot, I believe you're not the WSU. So definitely, I am a fan of being school spirited and also crimson and gray. Maybe I don't know the fight song the whole way, but that doesn't matter because we are WSU and whatever we do is bringing pride back to our campus. So keeping that cougar will keep our pride on campus.
Israa and Tyler, you have 1 minute to answer the question.
Fight for what you're listening. That's all I know. But I'm trying to have the fight song somewhere in my notes, I can't remember it. I think that I can't imagine WSU without the cougar head or the mascot that we have. I think it should never change, and I remember that one time I asked Edward why he chose to be at WSU, and he said that the cougar head attracted him. So I want the cougar head to attract every student that come here and be a WSU cougar. And go Cougs!
sick logo.
Go Cougs. Alright, Alisa and Anjhelica, you have 1 minute to answer the question.
Well, my loyalty lies with the Cougar too. I believe that all the WSU campuses were just one family. We bleed crimson and gray. And you know what? I'm proud to be a Cougar, so it's going to stay a Cougar. And fun fact, the T in which T Cougar is the. I thought that was hilarious. Like, which the Cougar.
Alright, thank you. We have some write-in questions. each ticket gets 1 minute to answer the question. Our first question, starting being addressed to Edward and Vanessa. What is your stance in regards to running start students able to vote for ASWTC elections and attend all ASWTC events, although they do not pay the same amount of fees as non-running start students?
So I would like to address that because it is an issue that's happening right now. We have many running start students asking us the same question. Because we believe that all students should be involved, and they are. They go to all events that we offer. They do not have any restrictions. But because we are funded through SMA fees, which you guys pay $500 a year, $512 a year to be exact, and they do not pay the amount. They do not pay any fees actually. It's actually the running start student department that gives that money. It's not really, it doesn't go towards us exactly. So if they shouldn't be able to vote to elections, and they should not be able to be a officer for ASWSUTC because of that, because we are funded through those fees that they do not pay.
And also, as I don't know if you guys have seen, but there's actually a sign on the student launch that says you have to be 18 years or older, and if you don't pay fees, you can't be part of that student launch that is supported. So things like that, like we really don't want student running for students. That event would be like no running for students. You can't. But we've opened the doors for you to say, come to events, come to use the student lounge. We've never I've never said no to a running and student. Like you can't go to events, you can't participate. We're welcoming you, but just according to the SMA.
And time. Sorry. All right. Tyler and Israa, you have 1 minute to answer the question.
Thank you. I can tell you in detail my thoughts on this because we've had 3 Senate meetings straight talking about this, and it's a very difficult subject. I agree in part with Edward because I think that if you pay fees, you should have a right to vote, and not running such things, they don't pay the same amount. I don't believe it's up to 4, 5, 6, 7 people to decide. That's why we create referendums. That's why we want to hear your voice, what your guys' thoughts are to do this. If we're actually thinking of forming a referendum now, that would then be written. It would say, are they members of ASWSUTC, which implies that they can vote, and then you guys are voting. It's your choice, it's not our choice.
All right, Alisa and Anjhelica, you have 1 minute to answer the question.
I believe that we should ask the students what they want concerning the running start students, since it is their event, their money, their space. And concerning ASWSU, I don't know, for myself, I don't know if high schoolers should be a part of ASWSU or voting, because I know that ASWSU deals with thousands and thousands of dollars, and maturity is very important. I know that in high school I couldn't even think about having that kind of money in my hands, actually. So those are my opinions. What do you think, Anne?
I agree. I feel like having the communication with the other students, since it is their money, to ask them about what they think about it. But as far as discriminating them because of running start students, I don't believe in that. I feel like they should have like a say also, but as Alisa said, that is a lot of money, and that's our office.
And time. Sorry. So we have another question, and again, we're starting out with Edward and Vanessa. Who is your superhero, and why do you look up to them? You have 1 minute to answer.
My superhero is God. It's actually Jesus. Jesus died on the cross for all of us, and He did the ultimate sacrifice for all of us, and that is my superhero right there.
I would kind of say the Wonder Woman, and I kind of see it towards my mother because I feel like she's Wonder Woman. She can do many things. She's raised pretty much 6 kids by herself, so definitely I see that as a superhero because moms can do it all.
All right, Tyler and Israa, you have 1 minute to answer the question.
I kind of go on with Edward. I am very grateful for my Lord and Savior. And I would say my superhero, however, is my mom. She raised me ever since I was young. I have everything the man I am today is because of her, so she is a superhero, actually. It's not Savior God. She is a superhero.
Yeah, for me, my superhero is my mom. She has always been there for me, encouraging me, and I wouldn't be able to be here without her. So she is my superhero.
Alisa and Anjhelica, you have 1 minute to answer the question.
My superhero would be my grandpa. He was actually a refugee, chased out of his country, and then he came here and became a janitor. And ever since I was little, he was like, you need to go to school. It will change your life, and it has, and I'm grateful for him.
My superheroes, can I do that? Can I have one more superhero? I've had a hard childhood. family, but my friends have always been there to support me and cheer me on through life, so they're all my superheroes.
Thank you. We have a third writing question addressed again to Edward and Vanessa. If you do not win this year's election of being a president and vice president, what will your future plan be? 1 minute.
I personally would still like to be involved with the city government itself, just because I love.
Yes, we have 1 minute to answer the question.
I'm already involved in different departments on our company and different clubs, and I would love, I can't stay away from student government. I would stay in student government, get involved again next year, and serve you, if not as a president, just as ASWSUTC officers. But I would like to be your president and serve you as a president because I have so many plans that came from you guys that I want to accomplish. And
I agree with you. I would love to be your vice president, but if it doesn't work out that way, I can't stay away. I love serving people. I love particularly serving students because all of you're unique in the way that you're all different in an awesome way. And I love communicating with each and every one of you. And I would love to be, whether it's ASWSU, student life, admissions, it doesn't matter. I want to communicate with you guys. I would love to be part of ASWSU again next year, but anywhere in the school, I would love to be part of it.
Alisa and Anjhelica, you have 1 minute to answer the question.
If I'm not in this position, well, I'll still be here. I'll still be hanging out with the students, going to events, and I would love to still be the voice of the students. If you need anything, you can still see me in the fishbowl, probably.
If I'm unelected, I'd still be promoting the events and all that for school. I love this school, so I'd probably still be doing what I'm doing now.
All right, we have time for one last question. Again, addressed to Edward first. What are some things you learned from past mistakes? You have 1 minute.
First of all, we do an event that is for all WSU campuses, all student governments for all WSUs, which is called SGC. And in the last summer, we did for all WSUs, and we did it here in Tri-Cities. And we were responsible to financially support that event, which for everything that we did here. And we did go over on the budget, and we learned that to plan better all those events and to be better prepared for when those costs come, we are ready to use the right, we know the right amount and everything else.
I wouldn't consider it a mistake, but more of advertising. I know that we've been working really hard on advertising, but sometimes that events are planned, a month before or 2 weeks before. So definitely having it during that summer, we already know what's going, talking to our directors and saying, okay, during the summer you're planning the events for the whole semester, if not for the whole year, and having that already so that way students know what events are going to be coming in, and that way when administration is working on also events, we are not always having events at the same time, but we can also use that as collaboration time where if I'm having an event, I know current government usually has events, so we can either combine it and we can have some events.
Time.
Israa tired of the answer the question.
And life is about making mistakes and learning from those mistakes. I believe that's a few mistakes that I've learned from, particularly while working as a senator, is being able to, as a potent employee, basically I supervise the senator. I manage their time and I make sure everything goes smoothly. And it's really, it's learning how to be a manager. It's learning how to manage people, how to manage time. And doing that, I believe I've made a couple mistakes with timing, I've made a couple mistakes with communication with others, but that's where you learn. That's where I believe I've gained these incredible skills I'd love to articulate onto the same body as
So yeah, at this point we know what works and what doesn't work, and we want to take that to next year. And leadership is never about one person, so we want to involve all areas in everything we do, and that's what I do for my committee as the chair of the Senate First Committee. I always involve my committee in everything we do at the
Alisa and Anjhelica, you have 1 minute to answer the question.
One mistake that I remember was being prideful. So sometimes I can be a little prideful. I won't ask for help or anything, but I've learned to put that down, and I've learned to ask questions, admit my mistakes, and get help. And I think that's very important for the students. If I mess up, I'm there to say that I have, and I'm here to get some help. Let's fix some mistakes, and let's work through it.
All right, wrapping this up, we have Chance for last thoughts for our candidates. You each have 2 minutes to answer. Edward and Vanessa. Oh, no, as it takes.
So, all we want to do really, guys, is to be reelected, to stay in this job and do our best, the best that we can do. We already have the experience of being in student government in the past, and we are already president, vice president right now. Whatever you guys want changed, we can do it right now. You guys don't need to wait for the next May. We can do it right now. Just come to us, and you guys ask us to do it.
And also, as everybody has mentioned, we're usually there at the office sometimes from 7 a.m. to like 10 p.m. when we're on campus. And I always try to put a sticky note that says, come in if you're all more than welcome, if you have any issues. Come and talk to us, feel comfortable. And that's what we want. If we are re-elected, we're going to be a familiar face and be like, okay, she knows what she's doing because she's been president for 1 year. And it's very important to be re-elected one more time so that way whatever you're continuing goes and you're not starting all over from scratch. And whoever does win, because I know all of us are awesome teams, that there is a good transition between what we're currently doing to the next. So you guys don't ever feel like whenever someone new starts, there's always new projects going on, and sometimes that not that it's bad for the students, but sometimes it's hard going from one president each year. But if you continue re-elect those same group like Edward and I for next year, it'll be an easier transition for the students and for ourselves.
You have 2 minutes to answer.
Thank you. As I was saying during my introduction, I thank you, the elected board, for putting us on. I thank the other candidates for coming here. I respect all of you immensely. I believe that it is very important to have experience in your duties, but it's also important to have new ideas and new thought processes and new premises brought in. That's why you have new administration, whether it be senators or executives or what have you. And that's why I believe we believe we're competent, eligible president by president, because we have new perspective. We have your perspective that you give to us that we are in more than agreement with. If you look on our posters, it says serve representative. We believe those are key characteristics of what ASWSUTC president and vice president must have. We believe we have those, and we hope that throughout this debate you have seen that out of us. We'll be outside in the East Commons area for the next hour. If you guys have any questions, you guys want to talk to us, we'll be available. We have a website if you want to check out the website. We have a Facebook page if you want to check out the Facebook page. A lot of information you can check out that hasn't been discussed in this debate, and then you can choose who you support.
Additionally, we are here because of you. We are here to represent you, to serve you, and to improve our campus the way you want it to be improved. Thank you.
Alisa and Anjhelica, you have 2 minutes for your final thoughts.
We are here because we want to listen to the students. We want to do what you want. We both have experience with student government. We're here to lead you, and we want to make a change for you.
And I also agree with Tyler about having new perspective brought in, and I believe that as a new vice president, if you would like me, I could bring that in.
All right, thank you guys. This concludes the meeting today. I'll just stay seated. As a reminder to all students in the room, voting takes place the week before spring break, so Monday through Thursday. I believe the election calendar is posted on CougSync as well as Facebook. Yeah, be sure to cast your vote. Yeah, so just look at the election calendar, it tells you the dates. And yeah, that concludes today's meeting. On your way out, feel free to grab some of the goodies in the back room there. That's for you guys. Yeah, and that does it for this year's meeting.
Can we clap?